Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new box office breakdown show here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Sidberg. Today on our new box office breakdown show, we're going to break down the last weekend for movies in the month of February, from the 24th to the 26th, breaking down the 2023 domestic and worldwide box office, and also looking forward to the busiest month of the year so far in movies, March. We break down each movie that's coming out each week. So welcome back to the channel, Max Sindenberg. If you're new to the channel, I do this box office breakdown show every single Tuesday. I also do other movie reviews, TV show reviews, movie rankings. So please subscribe, ring the bell. We're almost at 140 subscribers. So let's get us there as quickly as possible. Please hit that subscribe button down below. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on this past weekend at box office? Where are your thoughts on Ant-Man? Do you think it's a bomb? Do you think it's a better than people think? Let me know your thoughts on in the comment section now. But what did you see this past weekend, and what are you going to see this upcoming weekend? And also, please like the video, guys, the thumbs up button. Let's get into this breakdown here of the box office from this past weekend. So in first place was Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, holding in first place for the second consecutive weekend. But based on the numbers.com, which is the most reliable spot for me, 31.9 million in its second weekend, which has turned out to be a 70% drop for this movie. Now, I think it's sitting around 69.6%, but if you round up, that is 70%. So a 70% drop for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. The only other worst drop-off in a second weekend, I think, was Black Widow, if I wasn't mistaken. And that movie was also during the pandemic, the height of the pandemic, and was released both in theaters and on Disney+. So this is one of, if not the worst, second weekend drop in the history of the 31 filmography of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is bad news for Marvel. Now, they can look at it in multiple ways. Now, honestly, already, this definitely will be the highest grossing film in this franchise. I think that's kind of what they're hoping for. But these are definitely bad numbers across the board, and it's just going to keep getting competitive for this movie. I don't even think it will be number one after this upcoming weekend. Because it's not just going to face off against Creed 3, but it's going to lose its IMAX screens for Creed 3. So we'll get into that as well next week. So now it's up to $167 million domestically. I think they're not these awful, atrocious bomb numbers for the MCU, but I think these numbers the last year, because even Doctor Strange and Thor had big drops, and Doctor Strange had like around 65% drop, and that almost got to $1 billion. So I don't think all these drops all the time mean that these are bad things for the MCU, and for people to write off this movie after 2 weekends, I'm not really sure about that. But let's see in the next couple of weeks how Ant-Man continues to hold on, how long it can stay in the top 5, and if it can creep into kind of that $700 million range. I think Thor: Love and Thunder was around $700 million, which was the worst of the MCU releases last year. So we'll see where Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania falls, but just not a good weekend headline-wise for the newest MCU film. Again, it's their first of 3 films this year, with Guardians coming in May and the Marvels coming all the way in November. In second place in its debut weekend was Cocaine Bear from Universal, a huge slam dunk win for Cocaine Bear and Universal and Elizabeth Banks. $23.2 million in its opening weekend. Again, not a lot of budget. This is exactly what Universal wanted, over $20 million. This is a great number for Cocaine Bear, and this continues a trend of Universal really taking risks on some films that are very much niche, are kind of insane films that are again, Universal has big franchises like Despicable Me, like Jurassic World franchise, and the Fast and Furious franchise, where they can make all of that types of billion-dollar money. But as of late, they've been making a lot of movies that are a lot smaller, like Cocaine Bear, like Violent Night, and like Megan. Their last 3 movies have been very low budget, but very risky type niche films that have really caught on with audiences and gotten them some great box office return. And that continues with Cocaine Bear. Renfield, which is also coming out in April, is a very similar film to this as well. That's also from Universal. So this is one of my favorite studios at the moment. They're making a lot of films that just no studios make. And these are fun, low budget, dumb films, as some people like to say. But again, Megan and Cocaine Bear I really liked this year. And I really liked Violent Night. So these are movies that I really enjoy. And I think Universal, I love this idea of, yes, you can make the blockbusters, but you can also make these kind of little films that do very well as well. Oh, this is another biggest revelation, not to be a pun here, but in third place in its opening weekend was a film from Lionsgate they purchased, one of those conservative religious films, which is Jesus Revolution, based on a true story with Kelsey Grammer as the most famous actor in the cast, grossing $15.8 million, a great purchase there from Lionsgate. We've seen a lot of these religious films getting into our top 5 a lot the last year or two since the pandemic. And finally, a major studio, not just a Fathom Events, but a major studio in Lionsgate purchasing the film. It played in 2,400 theaters this past weekend. So you're going to see, I think, a lot more movie studios now buying into these faithful religious movies because they are making some dough at the box office. In fourth place this weekend in its 11th week is Avatar: The Way of Water, another $4.8 million, only 26% drop. It's up to $665.5 million domestically. Again, won't catch Top Gun Maverick there, but still, the fact that Avatar: The Way of Water is still in our top 5, and we are 11 weeks into its release. Again, this is something I guess I can bring up. This movie came out the first weekend. I was on winter break from college, and I'm about to head into spring break, and it is still in the top 5. I just want to say how amazing that is. A long time has passed. 11 weeks is a long time. That's still in the top 5. Also, the second weekend I was on break was that Puss in Boots: The Last Wish is also still in the top 5 in its 10th week of release. 4.1 million, 23% dropped up to 173.4. It was trying to get compared to the first Puss in Boots and Sing 2 for box office, but Puss in Boots: The Last Wish got above both of those other films. This has been on PVOD for weeks now. I think over a month it's been on PVOD. I think maybe even 2 months it's been on PVOD, and people are still seeing this in the movie theater. Big win for DreamWorks. And again, this is also Universal with the DreamWorks Shrek franchise that will likely now be completely revitalized with the help of Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Staying with movies this year, again, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, still number one, $167 million so far this year domestically. Megan is sitting in second place with 94.6, so close to $100 million, but it's going to be at least $5 million short of that. But the rest of the top 10 is A Man Called Otto, 80 for Brady, Knock at the Cabin, Plane Missing, Cocaine Bear jumps to number 8. Magic Mike's Last Dance is number 9, and jumping into the top 10 domestic this year is Jesus Revolution, now grabbing 17.2 if you include Mondays as well. So great numbers for Jesus Revolution. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is still the biggest movie of the year so far. We'll see if that changes anytime soon. Wrapping up the worldwide box office. Again, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is sitting at number 3 right now at the the 2023 numbers. Right now worldwide in 2023. So right now it's 364.45 million worldwide. Again, it really needs to hit that 700 mark to be deemed a successful enough movie for the MCU. So 2 Chinese films are number 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, all Chinese films. So Ant-Man and the Wasp is number 3. Pathan, which is also an Indian film that's done really well domestically, 17 million domestically. It's at 105.7 million worldwide. That's at number 7. And the other American film, the only 2 American films are Ant-Man and Knock at the Cabins at number 10 with $52.2 million worldwide. As I said, this is a pretty huge month for movies. Every week it feels like a major thing. It's saying also for TV as of late, because you have Mandalorian, you have Ted Lasso, The After Party, all returning this month. So this is kind of an amazing month if you're someone like me. Also, the Oscars are this month. So let's go to movies now. Coming out this upcoming weekend, we have 2 films. Creed 3 is the big release of the month of March. Hitting theaters this Friday. Very successful Rocky franchise. And also you have Jonathan Majors now coming off of Kang, just 2 weeks from Kang. He'll be with Michael B. Jordan making his directorial debut. That comes out on Friday. Also coming out Friday is the new Guy Ritchie film starring Jason Statham, Aubrey Plaza, and Hugh Grant. Operation Fortune, which is has been released for a while now internationally, but due to some rights issues, it's finally now hitting theaters limited here in the United States this upcoming weekend as well. Coming out next weekend on March 10th, the following weekend, will be Scream 6, the new film in the Scream franchise. Scream 5 was a big success for Paramount last year, so we'll see if that continues its trend. Scream 6 as well. Also coming out that weekend are two other smaller films. The first one, 65, which has been heavily promoted from the writers and from A Quiet Place, the Adam Driver movie produced by Sam Raimi, and also Champions, the new film from Woody Harrelson and Bobby Farley. That's why Woody Harrelson was on SNL this past week. So you have Scream 6, 65, and Champions coming out on March 10th. Coming out on March 15th. Actually, that's wrong. Sorry, March 17th, you have Shazam! Fury of the Gods, the first DC film of 2023, of kind of the last of the old regime this year. Shazam! Fury of the Gods hits theaters March 17th. Then when you get to March 24th, you have the fourth John Wick film that's hitting theaters on March 24th. And we end the month, not really anything major, on March 31st. So what a month of movies coming out. Creed 3, Scream 6, Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and John Wick Chapter 4. Huge franchises all hitting theaters every weekend this month. So I'm so pumped. More movie reviews, more TV show reviews. Yesterday I did my spoiler review of The Last of Us. Tomorrow we get spoiler breakdowns of the new episodes of Mandalorian and Bad Batch. And on Friday, we'll get my non-spoiler review of Creed 3. So more videos coming soon, guys. I'll talk to you soon.